Hey guys, so this is the behind the scenes of Today with Pastor Jay. And of course, I have the Honorable Will Furry here, soon to be Congressman Will Furry.
It has a nice ring to
It
it.
has a nice ring to it. Now, I heard that you picked out your office the last time you were in DC.
We were walking the halls, and
Uh-huh.
I saw one I liked.
You did. You did. You did. Okay. You saw one you like. All right. So I'm trying to check. The last time I went live, oh, I get to see myself. Okay, good deal. I look good. All right. Make sure I can hear me. All right. There we go. All right. So we're going to record this. This show is going to air this Sunday. Yes. Yes. This is going to air this Sunday. So we're going to go live today.
Okay.
All right. I got my little script here so I won't forget what I've got to say. And you can cue the music and then we'll get right in it.
You are now tuned in to Today with Pastor Jay on WNZF News Radio, where we discuss inspiring and informative news. And now here's your host, Pastor Jerlyn Denny.
Good morning, good morning. Wake up, good morning. You are listening to Today with Pastor Jay, where faith meets leadership and purpose finds its platform. I'm your host, Pastor Jay, and today we're joined once again by Will Furry, Chair of the Flagler County School Board, and now officially a candidate for Congress in Florida 6th District. His campaign launch was such a success, and today we're diving into the heart of his platform, what he stands for, why it matters, and how faith continues to guide his vision. Will, I want to say welcome back to the show.
It's great to be here as always.
Well, let's begin with the foundation of your campaign. I've got to ask again, what inspired you to run for Congress, and how has your faith shaped that decision?
Well, the reason why I ran is because the values that America were built on, faith, family, and freedom, I feel are under attack in this nation in many ways, and they're worth defending. And my faith it is involved in every decision I make, and so it's the cornerstone of my life.
You know, your campaign centers on faith, family, and freedom. Why those particular pillars? I mean, I see it all over your website, which, by the way, great website. Kudos to your campaign team.
It's been well received. Well, faith is our nation was founded upon Christian Judeo values, and faith is something that is rooted in many people in America, and I think we all need a North Star, and faith means something different to everybody, but my faith is of the Christian faith, and that's what guides me. And when it comes to the family, the nuclear family, I always feel it sets up most Americans for success. Having a husband and a wife helping each other, raising a family, it creates more opportunities. But there are different versions of family, and people have different circumstances that cause them to have different families. And I'm not speaking against other family designs, but historically, the nuclear family provides a strong foundation, and freedom. I mean, what else? That's what this country is all about: is freedom and liberty, and we need to defend it. And freedom isn't free; you have to keep fighting for it.
That is so true. So since your launch, what kind of feedback have you received since launching your campaign?
Well, it's been overwhelmingly positive. I had some encouragement before I ran from the community, but just really humbled by the amount of people that have come forward and said, "Will, we're so excited for you. Thanks for stepping up." People are starting to contribute to the campaign. They're signing up to volunteer. They're cheering me on, and I'm just excited to take this challenge on and win this for them.
Okay. So how do you plan to bring, let's say, like a moral clarity to Washington, where values often seem negotiable? I mean, you look at the TV, you see everything that's going on. People are just dropping values every day when it comes to our legislature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my values are at my core, and that what guides me. But and they also influence the decisions that I make as well. And but that's my makeup. That's how I am built. And so but I've always been transparent about where my values stand, and I think that's important because if people are voting for me and they're going to elect me to a position, they need to know that these are the values that guide my decisions.
You talk about the values that guide your decision. What distinguishes your platform from others in the race? I know there's several people that are running for this particular position, but what distinguishes you? What makes you so different?
Well, I would say that I'm not a politician, really. I mean, I guess you automatically
really?
are, right? I mean, yeah, I know a lot of people say, like you said, really, you're not a politician,
no.
But by default, you are a politician because you're in politics, right? But I think it's a matter of what guides you into politics and how you're leading in that function. And what got me into this was not because I wanted to be a political leader. I got in because I saw a problem in the community that I felt I could solve. Mm-hmm. And I shared that with the community and said, hey, I'd like to go in and solve this problem for you. And they elected me to do it. So I'm not doing this for recognition. I'm doing it as a answer to a call of service.
Real quickly, you talk about that call of service, that same call of service when you started with the Flagler County School Board. Promises made, promises kept. You have been working on those promises for several years now, and people have responded to that. Most people don't know because you've kind of been a quiet leader in that respect. What are you most excited about when you think about the successes that you've had on the Flagler County School Board?
Well, what I've learned to start with that is that a lot of the things you get done are off the dais, behind the scenes. There are certain leaders and politicians that want to grandstand and try and get credit for everything or just make noise. And there is a time for that, for advocacy and transparency, and to fight for what you believe in and made it known. But at the same time, if it's just words with no works behind it, what are you really accomplishing? And so I would say, one of my biggest accomplishments was changing the complete direction of this institution from a leadership perspective. And we completely retooled the leadership, and that's everything. Where if you have poor leadership or leadership that's driving you down the wrong road, you're in trouble. And so I believe we now have the right captain at the helm of our ship right now, Superintendent LaShaka Moore.
She's done a fantastic job. Yeah. I mean, morale is up in the school, the teachers, the students, faculty, everybody. I'm just real excited with her being on board. I remember when that transition took place, people were not happy about it. But now it just seems like it's a consensus. Everyone's excited about her driving the ship.
Well, change is hard for many, but leaders see beyond the moment, right? But we have to be accountable for those decisions. But in the case of the superintendent, the results are in. It was the right decision to make.
All right. This segment is brought to you by Church on the Rock, Judah One Aviation, and Great Eagle Strategies, partners in purpose, prayer, and bold leadership. You're listening to Today with Pastor Jay. More ahead with congressional candidate Will Furry. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to Today with Pastor Jay.
Good timing?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. We can go back in. Welcome back. Welcome back. You are listening to Today with Pastor Jay. And let's talk about the issues that are impacting families across Florida and the nation. And of course, I have the Honorable Will Furry. Let's dig into some issues. I used to call it the hot seat. Did you know that?
I didn't.
You didn't know that? You're in a hot seat. So what's your plan to address illegal immigration and strengthen border security?
Well, the most important thing we need to do is finish the big, beautiful wall.
Oh, oh yeah.
Walls work. I always find it interesting that the elitists, especially on the left, they all live behind these gated communities, but yet they want to let illegals run wild amongst the rest of their constituents, and so they don't feel the effects of their policies, right? So walls work, or they wouldn't be living behind them.
Well, hey, listen. You know what I say? Even having got a gate, everybody can't get in. I'm just saying, everybody can't go.
Yeah, that's true.
Listen, that's true. Everybody can't go.
Yeah,
but and that's true. So the fentanyl crisis, you mentioned that in your platform. It's on your website. It continues to devastate families. How would you combat that particular epidemic?
Yeah, it's been really heartbreaking to hear some of the stories of families around Flagler County, especially that have engaged with me, that have come to me heartbroken with the stories of their children losing their life to fentanyl poisoning. And it hit really home one day when I woke up on a Saturday morning and there were, emergency vehicles all over my street. Had to explain to my son that one of our neighbors had lost their life to fentanyl. So that really led me to see that we need to solve this problem as a nation. This drug is so dangerous. We got to stop it from coming over our borders, mostly by way of supply from China, right? And so we need to end this. And one thing that we would do is to increase surveillance. We need to increase the penalties for those that are trafficking these drugs and distributing to people that are dying after they buy them. And we need to have great collaboration with our local and state law enforcement collaboration there to help stamp out this problem.
Inflation is squeezing households and small businesses. And you go to the grocery store now and you can barely buy groceries. What solutions do you propose?
Yeah. So, one of the things we need to do is cut red tape and keep taxes low, make it easier for small businesses to thrive. We really just need to get the government to get out of their way. And small businesses know what to do to succeed. They just don't need all this extra stuff that the government puts on them and holds them back. Because let's face it, we are in the golden age of America. Thank you, Donald Trump.
I know, right? So how about federal spending and growing the national debt?
Yeah. Well, we need to cut the wasteful spending for sure. And we keep borrowing from our grandchildren's future. We need to end that as well. And we've suffered for 4 years under Bidenomics prior to Donald Trump coming in from the left wing economic policies. And it's amazing how the president has, in short order, helped to bring us back to, as I said, we're in the golden age. And so I will support Donald Trump and his economic policies to advance America.
How do you plan to restore bipartisan cooperation in Congress? It's always seemed one side on the other. What do you think you can bring to restore that type of bipartisanship in Congress?
Well, as I've learned from serving on the dais, it's about communication, collaboration, negotiation, and finding common ground. And that's easier said than done.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to set out with certain goals when it comes to policy making. And I have been successful in my tenure on the school board, even getting people that, although it's a nonpartisan board, we do have a party affiliations. And I was able to get people that were Democrats that had different views than me to come over to my side and vote with us and get a lot of things done in the first half of my term.
That must have been a challenge.
It was a challenge, but sometimes you just have to take a common sense approach, take the partisanship out of it and say, let's strip that out for a minute and let's go down to the core. Okay. When we get down to there, let's look at that and see where we can find a place to compromise and come together. And that's the approach I used, and it worked.
Let's talk healthcare. What reforms would you support to make healthcare more affordable and accessible? It's expensive.
It is. Well, first and foremost, we got to take care of our veterans. We need to make sure that we make sure that they have the proper health care that they need. And recently I was at an event and somebody spoke up that one of the biggest challenges they have as a veteran is dental care.
Oh,
you know,
I know that's right.
And, you know, I've heard that there are some things in the works to expand on that, but I would definitely support those efforts because we know now that, you know, dental work is preventive medicine because it can lead to heart problems and many other things that would save us on the other side, right? So I think it should be looked at more of as a preventative care.
All right. Well, we're going to take another break. And I want to thank Judah One Aviation, Church on the Rock, and Gray Eagle Strategies for supporting leaders who walk in faith and lead with conviction. Stay tuned. Will Furry continues unpacking his platform for Congress. Look at me. You better watch out, Mark. You better watch out, boy. Look at me. I'm doing good today. Okay. All righty. Woosah. All right, you ready? Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's turn to the heart of your message, protecting families and leading with faith. What specific policies would you champion to strengthen parental rights in education? Because I know education is a big part of it. What policies you think we need?
Well, we need to make sure that parents are the primary stakeholder in their child's life, and they should be involved in all decisions when it comes to their education. So we need to expand and encourage school choice. You know, that I'd like to encourage the Florida model throughout the nation. We've implemented it here in Flagler County. And we want to make sure one thing that's always been near and dear to my heart is our career and technical education. We need to expand those areas to provide funding for when students leave high school, or maybe even when they are still in high school, to learn these skills that are real world jobs, that are high paying jobs. Because not everybody's on a path to college, right, or university. Mm-hmm. And so we need to make sure, and we have a job gap in this country for services and skilled labor. I mean, just listen to Mike Rowe. You ever heard him echoing out that we need more people to do these dirty jobs? And let me tell you, these dirty jobs pay pretty well.
Oh yeah, it costs about $600 to get a commode changed or toilet changed in your house.
Believe me,
now.
I've experienced something like that in the time past. So I hear you.
I'm pretty sure you could do it yourself.
I have, but as I get older, I want to do those things less and less. If I'm honest.
You sound like Mr. St. Clair Denny.
Okay, well, I like that guy.
You know, and that's true. So the Classroom to Careers program that's in Flagler County Schools have done exactly that, and the students, when they graduate high school, they can actually go into a career. College isn't for everyone. I'd heard that about, 30% of the people in CD6 have a college degree. So that means 70% of the people in our congressional district don't have a college degree. And
that is, I believe that statistic is accurate. And, you know, we have some this region has a large segment that is retired, and there are very successful people, and a lot of them came from blue collar work.
Wow. Well, I can tell you, there aren't enough people to turn a screwdriver nowadays. Well, I can tell you, my husband's in that industry, and they're always looking for people to do different types of things.
Yeah, I mean, try and get a handyman on short notice these days. I'm sorry, they're just not available.
They're not available, and if they are, they're quite expensive.
That's correct.
How do you balance public safety with Second Amendment rights? And do you believe in the Second Amendment?
Well, as a gun owner, absolutely. I will always protect and defend our Constitution, especially the Second Amendment. But we have to be careful. We were talking about freedom earlier. And every time that you submit to a new law, and oftentimes it's quoted as for the greater good or for safety, and there could be an argument for that in some cases. But when you're talking about the Second Amendment, every time you submit to a new law, you're giving away some of your freedoms. So you have to consider the cost before you accept that.
Right. Now, I've been watching your website, and you have a slogan for your campaign. Won't you tell us about that?
Well, it's the will of the people.
Okay, it's called the Will of the People. So tell us about Will of the People. It's got your name in it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a play on words. I think everybody's figured that out. But, I believe that is something that a lot of elected leaders have lost touch with. They make a lot of grand promises, especially in our DC sector. They make all the promises at home, then they go to DC and they just get kind of lost in the swamp up there. And I think that's another reason why it's very important that for our congressional leaders that they live amongst the people they serve, because when they come back home, they're accountable to them, right? And while they are at home, they see the problems as they live there. And so if you live 100 miles south of a district, like we in the representation we have right now in Congressional District 6, when that person goes home, they're not feeling the effects of the policies that they put in.
So how can people find out more about you and get involved?
Well, one of the fastest ways you can do that is go to willfurryforcongress.com. And on there, we have right conveniently on the top a big button that says donate.
Okay.
And you can donate to this campaign because a congressional campaign costs a lot of money. And I want to try and raise enough of most of that money from our community, right? Send a message to DC, folks, with your dollars in this campaign and say, we want a local representative right here from Flagler County to represent us in Washington, D.C. And you can also sign up to volunteer there. We're going to need a lot of volunteers as well. And so, and we've had several sign up since that website launched. So that was very encouraging as well.
And I heard that you had swag.
We have a store. You can get the Wheel of the People merch.
Oh, what you got?
We got hats. We got shirts. We got all kinds of things branded with Will of the People.
Okay.
Yeah, and we just put it up today, and people are buying it already.
Well,
and we take cryptocurrency. Believe it or not,
Are you serious?
We're one of the few. We're with it, and so we can accept cryptocurrency for donations also for those crypto holders out there.
I cannot believe it. Oh, cryptocurrency. Well, thank you so very much for spending time with me. It's been great. And lastly, what's your prayer for this nation as you step into this next chapter?
Well, I'm praying for encouragement, wisdom and safety over our President Donald Trump and our leaders. Also, I'd like to pray for a fair and safe election and prosperity for all American people.
All right. Well, thank you so very much. Today Will reminded us that leadership begins with conviction and that faith, family, and freedom aren't just campaign slogans. They are assignments. So I'll leave you with this. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow isn't promised. What are you going to do today? Maybe today you pray for our nation. Maybe you support a leader who walks in faith. Maybe you step into your own calling. Until next time, I'm Pastor Jay, and this has been Today with Pastor Jay. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. All right, guys.